In this video, let's talk about character arrays and strings. First, let's discuss character arrays. A character array is defined as a collection of characters stored in consecutive memory locations under a common name, just like numeric arrays. A character array is declared just like any other type of array. Here, we have to provide data type as char, followed by the name of the array and size in a pair of square brackets. For example, char names 10. Here names is the array name and 10 means we can store 10 characters within this array. The initialization of a character array is similar to any other type of array. Here we have the first example as char gender 2 equal to m and f. Here m and f represent male and female gender, and these two values are stored in consecutive memory location as shown here, and the first value m is stored at index 0 whereas second value f is stored at index 1. Same is the case with the second example where the name of the array is grades and its size is 5, meaning it has 5 elements of character type and these are all stored in consecutive memory locations. Initialization of a character array can also be done without mentioning the size of the array, as in this case. Here the compiler automatically calculates the size of this array based on the number of elements that it contains. We can also create multidimensional character arrays. Declaration of a multidimensional character array is just like the multidimensional numeric arrays. Once again, here we have to type the data type, then array name, then we have to supply number of rows and columns in separate pair of square brackets. For example, we have char as the data type and array name is fruit basket and it is a multidimensional array consisting of 3 rows and 8 columns. In order to initialize a multidimensional character array, we need to first create separate character arrays and then enclose them within a pair of curly braces as shown here. In this case, our fruit basket multidimensional array consists of 3 rows. So we have created 3 separate character arrays and 8 columns means that each of these rows can contain maximum 8 characters. In our case, the first row will contain these letters A, P, P, L, E and these are 5 characters. The second row will contain M, A, N, G, O, again 5 characters, and the third row will contain G, R, A, P, E, S, that is 6 characters. Maximum length can be 8 characters. Upon initialization, our multidimensional array will contain all these character arrays stored inside separate rows as shown in this figure. In this program, we are going to learn about one-dimensional and multidimensional character arrays. So let's begin with our first topic, which is one-dimensional character arrays. Let us suppose that I want to store the name of a fruit and let's say the maximum length here is 10. That means maximum it can be of 10 characters. So if I initialize this array, let's say I want to store orange as the fruit name, then I will have to type each of the characters individually within a pair of single quotation marks as I am doing here. So this is how I initialize my one-dimensional array. And now if I want to display it on the screen, then I will have to type, I'm just giving one message, fruit name is equal to, and then I will simply pass on the name of the variable which is fruit. This is the name of my character array. And let's run this program. It's already saved. On the screen you can see fruit name is orange. So this is how one-dimensional arrays work. Now suppose that instead of a single fruit name, I want to display an entire list of fruit names, then in that case multidimensional character arrays can be very useful. So let's create one multidimensional array as fruit basket. This is the name of my array, and suppose I want to store 3 fruit names here. So my rows will be 3 and the length of each fruit name is maximum suppose 8 characters long. So let's say my first variable which I want to use to keep track of rows is I, and for columns it is J, and now I'm going to display one message /n list of fruits is /n semicolon, and now I am going to create a nested for loop where outer for loop is for keeping track of row indices which goes from 0 to 2 because we have 3 rows, and here inside this for loop we have another for loop placed for keeping track of column indices. So we have 8 columns, so j goes from 0 to less than equal to 7, j plus plus, and now we will type here the name of the array which is fruit basket, and then we will supply row index and column index. And once it is done, outside this inner for loop I will put 1/n just to separate the names and to spread them in different lines. Let's execute this program once again. Let's see if it is working properly. So list of fruits is apple, mango and grapes. Strings and character arrays are related concepts even though they are not the same thing. A string in C++ is used to hold words or text within double quotation marks. In C++, we can create strings in various ways. For example, using a null terminated character array or using string class. A null terminated character array is also called as C string or C style string. It is basically a sequence of characters terminated by a null character, which is written as \0. A null character marks the end of the string, and since this is a character array, therefore all the characters are stored in consecutive memory locations. You may initialize a null terminated character array or C style string in various ways. For example, here we have char name 6 equal to PETER, and the last character is a null character indicating the end of the string. If you want, you can skip the size also, as shown here in example number 2. In example number 3, we don't have individual initialization of the characters, rather we have written the word Peter together inside a pair of double quotation marks. Once again, if you want, you may skip the size. Let us discuss a program to understand C style strings. Here I am going to create one character array. Let's call it as city, and the size of this character array is 10, and let's initialize it with the name of a city. Let's say I am typing here London, so LON, then DO and N have to be separately written, and my last character will be a null character because here I am working with a string, not with a normal character array. So this is a null terminated character array, also called as C string or C style string. Now if I want to display it, I simply have to type here cout, and let's say I am printing one message, city name is, and then I will type here city, just the variable name. Let's execute this. And here you can see city name is London. So this is how we work with C style strings. Now let's understand how to read and write a C style string with a blank space. So once again I have a character array called city having length 10, and now I am going to display one message, enter a city name, and I will receive the input inside my variable called city, and then I will type here /n you entered, and then we will display the name of the city from the city variable. Let's run this program, and here you can see the message is displaying enter a city name. Let's suppose my city is New York, and as soon as I press enter, only new is displaying but the word York is missing. That's because everything beyond this blank space after the word new is discarded and the compiler ignores it completely. So to get rid of this problem, we need to make one slight change in the program in this line where I have written C in city. So let me delete it and let's replace it with function cin.get, and this function accepts two parameters. One is the name of the variable in which you want to receive the input and another is the length of the variable. In my case, the name of my character array is city, which is the name of the variable, and after that the length of this is 10. So after this I press semicolon, and as soon as I run it, once again I am entering here New York as the city name, and as soon as I press enter, New York is displaying in full. Another method to create strings in C++ is by making use of string class. For example, here we have string object, which is an object of the string class. So string is a keyword here and name is the name of variable, and we are initializing this variable with value Peter, which represents a sequence of characters enclosed within double quotation marks. Not just one word, but you can also store multiple lines of text as shown here in the second example and store it within your string variable. This time, let's understand how to create string variables using string class. So I am going to type here the keyword string, and now I am going to type the name of my variable. Let's say it is my name, and I am not initializing it at this step, I am just declaring it. In the next line, I will ask the user enter your name, and then I will receive the input in variable my name, and finally I will display here /n you entered, and then I will display my name. Let's run this program. Here you can see, if I type Tony Stark and press enter, only Tony is displayed and everything beyond this blank space after Tony is discarded. So to solve this problem, we already have discussed about cin.get method, but this time we are working with string class, so we will not be making use of cin.get. That's because we don't have any length of my name variable mentioned over here. It's without any specific length, and therefore we have an alternate solution in the form of getline function. So the syntax for getline function, which is also an inbuilt function, is getline, and inside this we will pass two parameters. One is cin object, then comma, and after that I will type my string variable name, which is my name, and then I will put a semicolon. Now let's rerun this program, and you can see enter your name. So let's suppose I have written here Tony Stark, and I'm also displaying one message, how are you, and as soon as I press enter, you can see the entire line is displayed including all the blank spaces.